There have been some major changes to the beginner's journey in Marvel Strike Force, and this video is going to help you navigate those. Even if you're a new player, a brand new player, you just start playing the game, or if you've been playing for a couple of months or even a year or more, there's going to be information in this video that's going to be relevant to you. We're going to be covering all the stages of the game. We're going to be covering your raid teams, your war teams, your Cosmic Crucible teams. We're even going to start talking about Dark Dimension at the end of this video. I'm going to give you the advice that I would give myself if I were to start playing Marvel Strike Force today. This is the Marvel Strike Force Ultimate Beginner's Guide. This video is being sponsored by Scarlet Spider Comics. This toe-sucking piece of crap, low-life dirtbag stole their comics. The good news is you can help them and it won't cost you a dime. All you have to do, scan that QR code or click the link down below. It's going to get you a free $15 credit to use with Scarlet Spider Comics. There are no strings attached. I would not attach strings to this. I'm not the kind of person to be attaching strings, okay? I am telling you that with this QR code or with this link down below, you will get a free $15 that you can use on Whatnot any way you see fit. Now, shipping rates will apply. However, shipping rates are usually pretty low, especially with Scarlet Spider Comics. They run auctions every Friday at midnight giveaway auctions. They are giving away free comics. I am not fucking with you. I'm not kidding with you. You would think, oh, there's probably some catch. There's no fucking catch. It's free comics, okay? This isn't some fly-by-night bullshit, guys. Scarlet Spider Comics has been supporting this show for literally years. You don't even have to show up to the auction to use the credit. If you go to the show that is coming up next and you go to the shop, and then you go to buy now, it'll show you their extensive inventory of comics, and it's showing up very poorly on the screen. But if you go there, you can see the covers and there's prices, and you can see there's lots of comics here for under $15. And I know a lot of you have already collected that credit. Please, if you've already collected the credit, go use it. Until you use it, it doesn't benefit Scarlet Spider Comics, and it also helps support the channel. But you know what? Because I heard about this incident with the robbery, I am actually going to be giving all of the proceeds that would go towards me normally over to Scarlet Spider Comics. So go help them out, and you know what? It'll just do us all good, because what a crappy thing to happen to nice people. That's right. We are looking at some major changes to where the characters are located on all of the nodes in Marvel Strike Force. If you just downloaded the game today, what I would recommend you go after is I want you to go after Mysterio, and I want you to go after Venom. Now, I also want you to know that when you load up Marvel Strike Force and you start playing for the first few months, the main thing you're going to want to do is just level up. That's all you're trying to do is level up. You can level any characters you want to whatever levels you want. When you start playing the game, it's really, really hard to make mistakes. In fact, you don't have to worry about mistakes until you've been playing for about a year. So I consider most players who have played this game for about a year, unless you're spending a whole lot of money, you're going to be a beginner, okay? And these are the characters that you should go after farming now with the nodes the way they are. And then I'm going to kind of show you what that's going to look like in your roster when you're kind of all done, what kind of teams you're going to be able to assemble. But from the campaign nodes, and they have this laid out here by level, which I think is great, you're going to go for Mysterio. Mysterio is now the #1 best character for new players. You're going to find him early on a node, and you're going to want to go after Mysterio. Next up is going to be Venom. Venom is available early on as well. And both of these characters are going to take you all the way from the start of the game to the end of the game. So all of the gear you put into Mysterio and Venom, that's all going to pay off. You're not going to waste anything doing that. Same with Winter Soldier. Believe it or not, Rebirth, you might not even know what Rebirth is, but Rebirth is kind of an older team in this game, and they're still relevant for a lot of things. You're going to need Rebirth. It's going to come into play a lot throughout this video. I'm going to be like, and you're going to use your Rebirth to do this. So you're going to want to start assembling Rebirth as soon as possible. Now, we're already up to like level 20, level 29, right? By the time you can farm Winter Soldier. Well, in conjunction with these nodes, there's also going to be the Blitz store. Now, in the Blitz store, the two characters I would suggest going after are going to be Namor. Namor is going to be a very important character in this game. He has yet to receive his rework, but it's going to be coming up soon, and I usually try to make these videos to last for a few months. So I'm going to say go after Namor. I'm also going to say go after Mockingbird. There's a few reasons to go after Mockingbird, but the most important one is to go after Green Goblin Classic and to unlock him at a very high level. And so you're going to want to start getting your Mockingbird now. Plus, she's a pretty powerful character that's available early on and can help you solve some problems. Also of note here is going to be Deadpool. I haven't singled him out necessarily, but I believe he's going to be getting a rework coming up very soon. So if you want to start building up Deadpool now, you can. I'm not going to talk about it too much. That rework's kind of a bit further off, but the Namor one's coming a little faster. Now you're going to unlock the raid store pretty quickly in your player's journey. And there's a lot of good characters in here. Now, however, there's heavy RNG in here as well as far as who you can actually get. So it's going to take a long time to get a lot of these characters. However, the ones I think you should focus on are going to be Miss Marvel Hardlight and Icarus. Now, that hasn't changed since my last beginner's guide. That's going to be my advice for a very, very long time, because Miss Marvel and Icarus are extremely, extremely powerful characters in this game. So being able to get them early on is really, really nice. You'll also see Vulture make his first appearance here. He is also going to be a very good character to pair up with that Mysterio that we talked about earlier. And here's what it's going to look like. All right, so if I pull up my game, you will see here that I have those teams assembled here. I have that. This is a good villains team. This goes all together into a nice villains team of Vulture, Namor, Mysterio, Venom, and Winter Soldier. Your heroes team is going to look like this: Miss Marvel Hardlight, Icarus, Captain America, Hulk, who you will get automatically by doing achievements. You're going to get Hulk shards. I heard it takes anywhere from like 30 to 60 days, depending on how fast you're playing through the game. You're going to get Hulk. You can start building him up. He's going to be useful for a lot of things. The other character you should go after is going to be Thor. And I believe Thor is up here as well. And he is over in one of the stores. He is in the raid store as well. So he's another one to grab out of the raid store. Thor is going to do a couple of good things for you. Plus, he's a good Mystic character if you ever want to go up to the Mystic campaign. And he's going to synergize very nicely with Captain America and with Hulk for an Avengers team. Kind of an Avengers synergy you're going to get from that. So these two sets of characters right here are pretty much going to be the two beginner teams that you're going to go after when you load up Marvel Strike Force. And then that's going to take you to the next phase. Now is the part of the video where we talk a little bit about war. And war. So, war costs a lot of money. Now, it's not that I hate war or, you know, I want people to ignore it. I just don't want you to try to build 20 teams to participate in war, because that's what you have to do. There's 10 teams on defense and 10 teams on offense. And we're going to be building characters here that are good in war. There are certain teams that are good in war. And my advice would be, like for any other game mode, is be offense focused. So get your 10 war teams for offense and then decide how much you like it. And just know that if you want to go forward with being good at war, it's going to cost you like a lot of money. There's really no way around it. I've never participated heavily in war, at least not at the top end of it. For very brief periods, my alliance might break into the top 100 in war, but we're more focused on raids, and that has benefited me more over the lifetime of this game than any other activity. with the exception of like Cosmic Crucible. Cosmic Crucible can be very rewarding, but really most of the rewards in this game are going to be garnered through milestones, events, and raids. And heavy participation in the arena. Doing well in the arena is going to help you out a lot as well, giving you those cores that you need to do well in milestone events. So I wouldn't really put a lot of emphasis on doing well in war. Participate, do your offense attacks, win your battles. I've got videos on that on this channel as far as what like the current war meta is. But at a low level, I would really just focus on getting 10 strong offensive war teams, and they're going to end up being your raid teams. They're going to end up being your Cosmic Crucible teams, your arena teams, and use those and then make the determination whether it's something that you really enjoy. And just know that if you go up to high level wars, you're just going to have to spend money because you don't get the resources that you dump into war teams back from the rewards that you get from winning more wars. You don't actually get that much return to you. You end up spending a lot more than you gain. It's kind of a black hole for your resources. And that's why I don't focus on it in this guide. That's why I don't say, you know, here are your war teams and you really want to go after this. Instead, I say these are good for raids. These are good for Cosmic Crucible. These will help you unlock legendary characters and scourges. Those are more obtainable goals than like trying to win wars that you're just really never going to win. There's no way to really recoup your losses from that. So that's my bit on war. Okay, let's get back into what teams you're going to build once you hit level 60 and start kicking some butt at Cosmic Crucible. You may have noticed in the previous section I was saying go get Captain America. Well, I kind of forgot you can't really get Captain America now until level 30. But as soon as you hit level 30, you're going to want to go get Captain America. I don't think it was the greatest thing in the world for them to remove him. They switched him out. He used to be available at level 20. I think he made a really nice pair with Winter Soldier there to start building that Rebirth team. But hey, in all their infinite wisdom, they decided to move him over a little further back in the player journey. Hopefully you'll be able to get more experience a little faster so that you can go get Captain America. As soon as you can do that, you should. And then you're really not gonna get much more until you hit level 60. And then once you hit level 60, you can begin to complete your Rebirth team. You're gonna pick up US Agent, and you're also going to want to pick up Gwenpool at that time to start preparing for Cosmic Crucible, which unlocks at level 60. Now, you used to be able to get Gwenpool a little earlier so that you were ready to hit the ground running. Now you got to wait until you actually hit level 60 and Cosmic Crucible opens up for you to start farming Gwenpool. But as soon as you can do that, you're going to want to do that so that you can assemble the new Warriors team. Now, once again, I'm going to show you all those teams. But first, we're going to talk about where you're going to get all the characters for the teams and where you're going to unlock them. Now, also, out of the raid store, the other characters that I've highlighted here for you are going to be Cyclops. It's still very, very hard to get good mutant characters in this game, but Cyclops is now one of them, so you're going to want to grab him. You're also going to want to grab Cloak, because remember, we're making a Cosmic Crucible team. For you, the new player, the beginner, the mid-game player, whatever you want to call yourself, Cosmic Crucible is going to be one of the most important game modes in the entire game for you. It's how you're going to get the most power unlocked. Plus, there's some very good characters in the Cosmic Crucible store. There's also some really good rewards coming from raids as well, but only at a very, very high level that you're really not going to get to. There's a lot of, pretty much all the characters that I'm detailing out right here are going to be fantastic raid characters. The Rebirth team itself is going to carry you through all the beginner raids if you have pieces of that team, or if you're even fortunate enough to have the whole team unlocked. And a lot of this is going to be up to random chance. Like, I don't know what you're going to get as you go through the game. There's a lot of random orb openings that are going to give you different characters. If you ever want to know what the best characters in the game are, you can always consult my Safe to Build graphic. I update this periodically. I think this is the last one I put out. And if you can get any of these characters, if you can get any of them as you go along, you're going to want to get them and use them. If you're fortunate enough to be here for Extreme X-Men, well, use Extreme X-Men. If you were fortunate enough to be here to unlock Black Knight, right, which just came out into the game, you're going to use Black Knight. If you're going to get Cosmic Ghost Rider, he's going to be great too. But as far as the stuff that's just available on, farmable by regular players, this is going to be it. So for the raid store, once again, we're getting in here. We're talking about Cloak. We're talking about Icarus. Moonstone, Masters of Evil is a very, very good team, and you can pick up Moonstone in the raid store. You can get Coulson in here as well. He's going to be needed for that new Avenger team, which I'm going to tell you some more about that in a little bit. You might want to hold off on new Avengers until a bit later. Pick up the pieces now. Coulson's probably like the least important thing in this store. I just want to put him in here in case you do need to build new Avengers to go get Green Goblin Classic. That's going to be a very important thing for you to do at a certain point, so you might just have to start building them if they don't update those requirements. You also have Vulture in here. We already talked about him, and Thor. You want to grab them as well. Now, one place we haven't talked about yet is the Arena Store. You can see it kind of happening down there. And in that Arena Store, the #1 most important character to grab out of there is going to be Gambit. Gambit is a powerhouse character, an amazing character in this game, and one of the very few mutants that you have access to as a new player. So grab Gambit. You're also going to want to grab Dagger in there, probably Ronin for that new Avengers team, but like I said, you can keep that on the back burner. But a character you do not want to put on the back burner is Agent Venom. You do want to complete that Rebirth team. That is going to be important for quite a few things. Plus, now we have 2 members of the Rebirth team that do double duty and also appear on the brand new Out of Time team, which is Captain America and Peggy Carter. A little bit more about her in a second. She's down there in the Cosmic Crucible store. Before we get to that, at level 45, War unlocks. I already did a bit on War. You heard that. It was a lovely speech. But out of the War store, and this is why I say it's not that important, there's only 2 characters in there that you're really going to go for, and that's Carnage and that's Cersei. And they're going to be extremely rare in there. They're extremely expensive in there. But those are the only 2 you need to worry about. Just Carnage and Cersei. Get them unlocked. If anyone's asking at this point, like, why am I skipping Bifrost? Why am I skipping Pegasus? Why am I skipping this, that, or that team? It's because they're aging out of the game. I'm probably due to make another Safe to Build graphic, so I don't want to put it on the screen again. I don't want to harp on that too much. But I believe that new players at this point, if you're going to start putting a lot of resources into Bifrost or Pegasus, you're going down the wrong road because those teams are going to get replaced soon. The next raid team to be replaced is going to be Invaders, so I wouldn't suggest spending any resources picking them up, and I wouldn't go after Bifrost, and I wouldn't even go after Pegasus. We're going to go after Extreme X-Men, and we're going to go after Hive Mind, but we're going to ignore all that other stuff until new teams come out because it's going to be a very short period of time before that happens, relatively, subject to change. I don't know anything. Hey, do whatever you want. I don't care. Then down here at the bottom, we got Cosmic Crucible. That opens up at level 60. That's what we're talking about. And you want to grab Peggy Carter out of there, Captain Carter, and you want to grab Robbie Reyes. Robbie Reyes is single-handedly the best regular character, non-legendary character in the game. So grab Robbie as soon as possible. He's going to be vital. I'm telling in-game players, he's the first character to raise to gear tier 19. So absolutely you want to get Robbie Reyes. Now, what are you going to do with all this stuff? All right, you've been going through here. You're farming all this stuff. You've got it in your arsenal. What kind of teams are you going to want to assemble? Well, this is what you're going to want to put together. You're going to want to put together the Rebirth team. Absolutely want that team. It's still a good team. It's going to do a lot of stuff for you until you get to extremely end-game raids. They're going to be your bio raid team. When you start doing Doom raids, they are going to cruise through the bio section, okay? If Hive Mind isn't available and it's not farmable just yet, we're going to want to have those pieces. As you can see here, I've assembled them here. with Dr. Octopus, who is another character you're going to want to get, Mysterio, Vulture, and Hive Mind. Now, more Sinister Six. You want to complete. You're like, that's not a full Sinister Six team. All right, here's what we're going to want to do. You're going to want to get the other pieces of those. Now, as I'm recording this video, it hasn't hit the game yet, but in a couple of days, we have new farmability. Kraven the Hunter's going to the Raid store. Spider Slayer's going to the Blitz store. Lizard is still going to be a little off limits. He's a little harder to get. He's on Hard Heroes 5.9. We're not really looking at the hard campaign. That kind of opens up around level 70. It's a bit out of reach. But Kraven and Spider Slayer are going to be available for new players very, very soon. So I'm going to suggest that you also get Kraven and Spider Slayer. Add that to your Dr. Octopus, Mysterio, and Vulture, and you have one of the strongest in-game teams in the entire game. So this is great news for new players that they're putting Kraven and Spider Slayer in obtainable places for new players and not putting them on these hard notes. So that's fantastic news. Now, the other character I mentioned in here was Dr. Octopus. And you're probably asking, well, how do I get Dr. Octopus? Good question. They've expanded his requirements, so now you have more characters that you can use to go unlock him. And the characters that I'm suggesting that you use are going to be Miss Marvel Hardlight, Captain America, Hulk, and you can use Robbie Reyes, Ghost Rider in there as well, and you can use Thor. Another good character to throw in there is going to be Deathpool. Like I said, he's got a rework coming up, so if you want to start building him, I'm not talking about him too much just yet. I'll probably talk more about him in the next beginner's guide when I redo this. But until then, that's what I'm going to suggest. Some combination of that. The other characters here, they're not that great. Hey, if you got Black Cat, use Black Cat, but that's probably getting it. You probably need Dr. Octopus to go get Black Cat. So you can't really, you know, the chicken and the egg kind of situation. I don't know what to say about that. But there you go. You want to get Dr. Octopus. He's been made easier to get. His requirement used to be really hard, but they've changed it. They've opened that up. And there's a lot of characters that you're already building that you can use to go get Dr. Octopus. All right, let's go ahead and look at the rest of these teams. And you're also going to start working towards building new warriors. Now, the only problem with new warriors is Deathpool. Deathpool is not farmable until way later in the game in the incursion campaigns, which require like 7 red stars on all your characters. It's really, really, that's really in-game kind of stuff. But you can also get a lot of Deathpool from the milestone orb. So over time, you should get Deathpool. Plus, right now, we're in the middle of a 6th anniversary that's awarding a lot of Deathpool shards. So I'm hoping you'll have her unlocked and you can get her into that team. Along with, and Firestar is available once you're level 70 as well. You're going to go farm her and get her on that team as well. I just got Robbie Reyes in here just to stand in for that. You can run this team without Firestar. It's no big deal. You can even run this team without Deathpool. It's fine. You can plug in 2 other characters. As long as you got Cloak and Dagger, you really got a lot of the best parts of that team. And then Gwenpool fits in there very nicely as well. So you're going to want to start assembling that. I mentioned that mutant team. Unfortunately, the full mutant team isn't available. Keep an eye out for Extreme X-Men. Keep an eye out for Hive Mind when they become farmable. Go after Extreme X-Men if you can. Go after Hive Mind when they become farmable. Go after Out of Time. Right, the best characters in Marvel Strike Force have not been released yet, and they're coming soon. So keep an eye out for those new characters. In the meantime, grab Moonstone. Another character you're going to try to get a hold of is Kang. He's a little difficult right now. Hopefully he'll become more available over time, or you'll get lucky enough to unlock him. But Kang's one of the most powerful characters in the game, and you're going to need that Masters of Evil to go get some of these legendary characters. So you may as well get Moonstone. She has a lot of plug-and-play ability. She's a great character, and here I've kind of paired them up with that Eternals, which honestly, Cersei and Icarus are kind of a team to themselves, and they don't matter who they plug into. Now, the final team I'm going to suggest kind of working towards is going to be New Avengers, but I'm telling you, put this on the back burner. Let it be the last thing you do. Hopefully, by the time you get there, there'll be another solution, and you won't have to build them, but if you're at a certain point, I just wanted to make sure that this guide was good for everybody, you know, from beginning till end. So I got to put them in here in case you're just at a spot where it's like, well, should I go get Green Goblin Classic to 7 stars? And the answer is yes. Yes, you should go get Green Goblin Classic to 7 stars because at some point you're going to want to put diamonds on them. This is a marathon, guys. It's not a sprint. This game takes a long, long time to amass a roster like the one you're looking at right now in my account. So you're going to want to plan for the future. You're going to want to make the smart moves, and hopefully these teams will get you there. The last thing we're going to talk about in this video is going to be Dark Dimension, specifically Dark Dimension 4. I believe Dark Dimension 2 and Dark Dimension 3, Dark Dimension 1 are going to kind of happen automatically for you, but you're going to need to do some planning for Dark Dimension 4, and I want to give you some solid advice about that before we part ways and you go become an endgame player. So, and check out the rest of my videos for that. So if you want endgame advice, I do a lot of that on this channel as well. But I try to think about you beginner players, and I try to analyze the game from an endgame perspective. So hopefully you find this useful. Now, for Dark Dimension, we try to keep the traits even across the board. You want to take in, like 4 bio, 4 mutant, 4 mystic, 4 skill, 4 tech, because that's kind of how the gear works out. And that'll help you get into it faster if you even that out. You can see here I need to pick one more character, but we're going to get to that. For the global section, what I'm recommending for new players to go after, and this is for Dark Dimension 4, 5, and 6 really, given what is available right now for you. I'm going to say Gambit, Cyclops, Captain Carter, Captain America, and Black Knight. Now I know what you're saying, Black Knight's not farmable. I know Black Knight's not farmable. I would wait on doing Dark Dimension 4 until Black Knight becomes farmable or available in some way, shape, or form. Even if you have him unlocked just like 3 stars, take that Black Knight to the moon. He is one of the best characters that is ever going to be released in Marvel Strike Force, then, now, always. So I wouldn't go into Dark Dimensions without Black Knight. He is going to be a forever investment. He is going to be another one of those characters that we're going to put gear tier 19 on immediately, and you're going to want to use right away as a new player as soon as you're able to get him. I know the unlock method was like super unfriendly for new players, but I'm hoping he'll be on a strike pass. I'm hoping he'll be available. I hope they put him somewhere, maybe featured in the premium orb. I have no idea, but I do know that at some point you're going to want to unlock Black Knight. You're going to want to take him into Dark Dimension. You can stick another character in his place, but there's really no other character that does what he does. For Cosmic, going to go with those Eternals. I think they've been kind of a forever thing in Marvel Strike Force. Now, unfortunately, my Eternals have kind of dropped off for me in Cosmic Crucible, but as a new player, they are going to do amazing things for you in Cosmic Crucible and in solo player content, which they're still holding up for me and always will. So Eternals are in here. Kestrel, you get her from Dark Dimension 1. As soon as you get her, build her all the way up. Pegasus might be falling off, but Kestrel is not. Keep building Kestrel. She's useful for a lot of things, including going to get Apocalypse, which will be a whole separate video. All right, we also got Deathpool in here. Like I said, you'll unlock her over time. And I got to put Kang in here, guys. I know Kang's another awful character to unlock right now. I'm hoping it'll become easier over time, but it's really hard to think about other good cosmic characters that share the tech trait other than Kang, especially considering that Pegasus is kind of gonna fall off. I don't know what the next tech team is gonna be, but it could very well involve Kang. So definitely keep building him up. City, we have the best characters right now for City, which is wild because for a long time we didn't, but City's an easy one. Robbie Reyes, Ghost Rider, Hardlight, Craven, who's just becoming available, Lizard, who goes on a node, Carnage, if you can get him from that war store. Amazing City characters. Now for Legendary, we already talked about Dr. Octopus. Green Goblin Classic's actually one of the easier Legendary characters for you to go get because you can go get him with Rebirth. Now, if you need help getting these Scourge characters on this channel, there is a playlist for Scourges. I've got all my advice on there now. This is from the first run of them. Things have changed a little bit now that they're in the game. Unfortunately, I cannot go in there and check them out anymore. However, a lot of my advice should hold up when it comes to what characters to build for it. Definitely check that out, and I'll see if I can update that The traits have been updated, but a lot of the characters are not farmable just yet. So the old teams are kind of still what we're stuck with, even though they've updated that, especially for the brand new legendaries like Green Goblin and Black Cat, both of which I think you can go get. I think you can go get Green Goblin, then you can probably go get Black Cat because you can use the Sinister Six to go unlock Black Cat instead of Nowhere, because Nowhere sucks. The other character that is going to the easiest old original like Apocalypse Horseman legendary to go get is going to be Archangel. However, there's a bit of a problem with Archangel in that for all the old Horseman legendaries, you need good mutants, and we don't really have them. But if you got Gambit and you got Cyclops, at least you got two of the best mutants available, and we're really just waiting for the rest of the Extreme team to be released. As far as the final legendary, I don't know, man. There's a lot of them out there. There's some new ones coming. You can use any trait available here. Like I said, I don't know what's going to hit your roster. A lot of the new player experience is absolutely random. But remember, I'm going to leave you with this. It doesn't matter what you level early on. Up until like gear tier 16, anything you do from gear tier 1 to tier 15, it doesn't matter. As long as you keep your levels, you know, until you reach level 85, it doesn't matter. You can level your whole roster to level 85. You probably don't want to go that wide with your roster. I wouldn't suggest, you know, putting level 85 on Yo-Yo or whatever, but you can't really make that many mistakes. You don't want to stress out too much. You want to make sure you have fun, build the characters you want to build. You use this guide at your own discretion. If you like this character or that character, go ahead and build them. Have fun with them. It's a video game, and I hope you enjoy it. And I hope you have enjoyed this video. I hope it's helped you through your new player journey, your beginner's journey. And if you need more help, it's available on this channel, as well as a video I put out every Monday called Addicted to Marvel Strike Force. Once again, remember our sponsor. The links are down below. And grave diggers, keep digging.
Stop what you're doing, baby, and follow Mr. Hargrave from parts unknown, if you will, baby.
I've seen the demon's face.
Mark joined one half of private party, say what up to the grave diggers, and keep doing your thing.
On my knees in praise of the horrible things that took her away.
Watch another video or be cursed.